Please just let me know if anything's wrong. We have Rupesh there, we have Shweta, we have Meenal. So we'll try and make sure we'll do some course correction if we need to. So yes, with that, just a very quick introduction. On August 18th, we celebrated 2 years of non-stop live quizzing. Now, India Fact Quiz has the annual championship, which is open to just the 17 to 25-year-old age group. No, we're not ageist, by the way, but it's just that we're really focusing on young people getting more familiar with facts and data friends, colleges, etc. So if you can just give me audio or video lagging issues, we'll try with this connection. And I'm going to wait for Meenal to just give me the signal if this is okay. And it's still lagging. Okay, all right. I'm going to so it is a bit patchy. I'm sorry for this. Issue. Um, and yes, Gaurav, there is a connection issue. Uh, I'm okay. Here
हेलो एंड वेलकम। आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। आई थिंक थोड़ी सी कनेक्शन में इश्यूज हैं, सो व्हाट वील डू इज वील स्टार्ट विद द हिंदी क्विज फर्स्ट and see what happens after that, and maybe we can do the English quiz after the Hindi quiz. So I will just share my screen in about a minute and I'll tell you about the book. Really sorry about the connectivity issues, but this is not in our hands actually. You know how it is with internet, so something or the other happens, but we're here to bring the quiz to you, play the quiz with you, and we hope that you enjoy. I'll just share the updated game pin with you, which is the game pin for the Hindi quiz. This is 710108, and this will be shared with you in the chat box also. So let us begin with the Hindi quiz. और आज की जो हमारी किताब है that you are going to receive as a prize if you win the Hindi quiz, it's called Prema, और ये लिखी गई है प्रेमचंद जी द्वारा, मुंशी प्रेमचंद जी। और इस बुक में it is a collection of stories by Premchand which will make you experience different shades of life, जैसा कि उनकी हर किताब में होता है। बहुत से डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ स्टोरीज होती हैं और बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरीज होती हैं जो हमें लाइफ के डिफरेंट पहलू से मिलवाती हैं। और ये स्टोरीज कुछ ऐसी हैं जैसे कि एक मदर की आइसोलेशन की, या किसी बच्चे की चाइल्डहुड मेमोरीज की, गुल्ली डंडा खेलते हुए। तो ये कुछ ऐसी शॉर्ट स्टोरीज हैं जो इस बुक में है और ये प्रेमचंद जी ने लिखी है। एंड 3 of you will win this book after you've completed the Hindi quiz. और जो गेम पिन है that is shared with you in the chat box, and I'm going to share my screen. कोई poll questions नहीं है हिंदी quiz के लिए. You'll have the poll questions for the English quiz. Welcome once again, all of you, and it's so glad to see you all. Hi Anuj, hi Bharat, and by the time आप लोग join कर रहे हैं, I'll just wait here. If there's anybody else who wants to log in quickly, आप जल्दी से जल्दी गेम पिन अपना Kahoot पर एंटर कर सकते हैं 710108। और हर हफ्ते हम गेम ऑफ फैक्ट्स आपके साथ खेलते हैं बिकॉज वी बिलीव दैट we need to break biases, we need to get above our notions, our preconceived notions, and we need to think when it comes to facts, we need to think about data and then form our opinions. So that's why we bring this quiz to you every Saturday without fail. Last Saturday हम आपसे नहीं मिले थे because it was the Independence long weekend, and we hope that you enjoyed it. In fact, today is also this weekend is also a long one, so we're glad that we can actually see so many of you join us today. Welcome Ayush, Padmaja, Anna, Shreyan, Nishant, Gaurav, Sneha, Tanushri, Udit, Anuj, Ritika, Arya, Madan. It's so good to see you all. I mean, एक ही वीक का गैप बीच में आया है, but still we've seen we feel like okay, something is incomplete if you've not done this game of facts, we've not played game of facts. So now I will begin with the quiz. And as you all know, there are no poll questions for this one, but we'll have the poll questions for the English quiz. So we'll begin with the first question straight away. All the very best, and I hope that you enjoy. It's going to be simple today क्योंकि आज puzzle questions नहीं है. And I've seen Rashmi also tells me you need a little difficult questions, so I've tried to keep it simple this time. This is Game of Facts Hindi, powered by IndiaSpen and factchecker.in. And here we begin with our first question for today. और डबल पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे आपको इसके। 2 से 14 वर्ष की आयु के 60% बच्चे अपने माता पिता या देखभाल करने वालों द्वारा शारीरिक दंड भुगतते हैं। 60% of children aged 2 to 14 years regularly suffer physical punishment by their parents or caregivers. क्या ये सही है या गलत? 27 of you आपने बिल्कुल सही उत्तर दिया है। ये जो डेटा है ये बिल्कुल सही है। और जो फिजिकल पनिशमेंट्स है दैट इज एक्चुअली सीन ग्लोबली, बहुत ज्यादा देखा जाता है। एंड इन सम कंट्रीज मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स हैव एक्चुअली रिपोर्टेड कि उन्हें स्कूल स्टाफ से भी फिजिकली अब्यूज यानी कि फिजिकली पनिश किया जाता है। एंड रिस्क फॉर बीइंग फिजिकली पनिश्ड इज एक्चुअली सिमिलर फॉर गर्ल्स एंड बॉयज। और ये जो बच्चे पुअर हाउस होल्ड से आते हैं, जो वेल्दी हाउस होल्ड से आते हैं, ये उनके लिए भी सिमिलर है. इट्स नॉट लाइक कि जो पुअर हाउस होल्ड से आते हैं उन्हें ज्यादा रिस्क है फॉर पनिशमेंट्स, but it's actually kind of it's the data tells us it's kind of similar for both the age groups, for both the genders, and for both the uh, types of families. So with this we move on to our scoreboard for today. First scoreboard, and we have Jitendra, Niharika, Anuj, Mamta, and Anuj. आप सबने, okay, we have two Anuj here. You've I think played really quick and the correct answers given. So you're on the scoreboard. Let's see what happens. बहुत सारे true or false questions हैं और बहुत सारे double points questions हैं. So the scoreboard is going to be very dynamic, which I think is the beauty of the game. So here we have our second question. भारतीय रिजर्व बैंक यानी कि आरबीआई ने भारतीय रुपए में अंतरराष्ट्रीय व्यापार के लिए चालान यानी कि इनवॉइसिंग और भुगतान यानी कि पेमेंट्स की अनुमति दी है. द रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया हैज अलाउड इनवॉइसिंग एंड पेमेंट्स फॉर इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड इन इंडियन रुपी. आपके हिसाब से क्या ये सही है या गलत? ये बिल्कुल सही है, एंड दिस इज एज पर अ सर्कुलर डेटेड 11 July 2022, very recent, or this is on international trade settlement, which can be done in Indian rupee. So with this, we have our scoreboard once again. Or Jitendra is still there. We have Mayur, Kartikeya, Rohit, and Ayush, who have just entered our scoreboard. And Rajpriya is the highest climber with this question. Let's go on to our next question. And I'll keep reminding you to stay on because we still have the English quiz. It's not like it's not going to happen. We'll have it just after this quiz. So please stay with us. Double points for this one. बीड़ी श्रमिकों और उनके परिवारों के लिए श्रम कल्याण योजना उनके स्वास्थ्य, स्कॉलरशिप और आवास यानी कि हाउसिंग को कवर करती है. Labor welfare scheme for the BD workers and their families covers their health, scholarship and housing. आपके हिसाब से what do you think? क्या ये सही है या गलत? Again, 26. I think more 26, 26. I've seen like 26 of you always answering correct for the true and false, which is nice. जो Ministry of Labor and Employment है, it has this labor welfare scheme for BD workers और उनकी families के लिए, जिसमें उनकी housing और उनके बच्चों के लिए scholarships और health facilities जो है वो cover की गई हैं scheme द्वारा. तो इस क्वेश्चन के बाद again our scoreboard, just a very slight change. I think Mayur was quicker than Jitendra this time. So rest of the scoreboard looks the same, but we have Sri, who's the highest climber with this question. Let's see if you get on the scoreboard by our next question. So moving on, CBSE ने अपने संबंध स्कूलों में 9वीं और 11वीं कक्षा में आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को एक सब्जेक्ट के रूप में रखा है. The Central Board of Secondary Education has introduced artificial intelligence as a subject in class 9 and 11 in their affiliated schools. क्या ये सही है या गलत? हम CBSE जो बोर्ड है, स्कूल बोर्ड है, Central Board of Secondary Education, उसकी बात कर रहे हैं, and 28 of you got this correct. Class 9th में जो artificial intelligence है, it has been included as a subject from sessions that have started from 2019-20, और वहीं क्लास 11th के लिए भी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को एक सब्जेक्ट के रूप में रखा गया है from sessions that have started from 2020-2021. Okay, I think somebody slipped from the scoreboard, so we now have Mayur, Jitendra, Rohit, Ayush and Ritika. Gaurav has a streak with 4 correct answers. I hope you get the next one also correct. So here we have our next question. डबल पॉइंट्स आपको मिलेंगे इसके लिए. शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब समुदाय के व्यक्तियों को अपनी आजीविका के लिए वन भूमि और संसाधनों का उपयोग करने की अनुमति नहीं है. Individuals from the scheduled tribe community are not allowed to use forest land and resources for their livelihood. क्या ये सही है या गलत? ये गलत है. Under the provisions of the Scheduled Tribe and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Act 2006, जो ये act है 2006 का act है, there are rights for the eligible individuals जो scheduled tribe community के हैं और other forest tribal community के हैं, वो forest land को अपनी livelihood के लिए और उसके resources को अपनी livelihood के लिए use कर सकते हैं. So with this, our scoreboard once again. Mayur, Rohit, Ayush, Adya and Aniket have just come up on the scoreboard. We hope to see you here. And okay, I think 3 players just dropped their answer streak of 4, which is a little sad, but you're still there, so you might win it. Don't lose hope. And there's another quiz with an amazing book, which you'll come to know in a little while. Next question for today. देश में महिलाओं के लिए राष्ट्रीय कौशल प्रशिक्षण संस्थानों यानी कि जो स्किल ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं उसकी संख्या. Number of national skill training institutes for women in the country. Is it 69, 49, 29 or 19? ओके, आप में से 12 लोगों ने बिल्कुल करेक्ट आंसर दिया है. द करेक्ट आंसर इज 19. देयर आर अबाउट 19 नेशनल स्किल इंस्टीट्यूट्स, training institutes for women in our country. It's not 69, it's not 49, it's the lowest number out of these, but it's about 19. And with this, we have a scoreboard once again. Mayur, I think you're maintaining your lead, which is great. Then we have Ayush, Gaurav, Rohit and Adya. चलते हमारे अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ. वित्त वर्ष 2021-22 में प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना के तहत करीब 15 लाख लोगों को प्रशिक्षित किया गया है. Close to 15 lakh people have been trained under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana in financial year 2021-2022. क्या ये सही है या गलत? Fourteen of you got this correct. ये गलत है. This number is not 15 lakh. It's actually lower. It's quite lower. जो correct data है, that is around 6,16,126. So इस question के source में आप जाकर देख सकते हैं कि जो प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना है उसके तहत कुछ पिछले सालों में जब से ये योजना आई है कितने लोगों ने इससे लाभ प्राप्त किया है, कितने लोगों ने इससे ट्रेनिंग प्राप्त की है. एंड 2020-22 में 21-22 में about 6,16,000 people were trained with this. So here we move on to our next question, but before that we have our scoreboard. Mayur, Ayush still maintaining their positions, and then we have Niharika, Anuj and Gaurav. Nishant is the highest climber, might see him on the scoreboard after this one. So here we go to our next question. योग को ग्रेजुएट और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट स्तर पर मान्यता प्राप्त है, यानी कि योगा की हम बात कर रहे हैं. योगा इज recognized at graduate and post graduate levels in India. आपके हिसाब से क्या ये सही है या गलत? Thirty-four of you got this correct. Just 4 of you went with गलत. जो योगा, अगर हम योगा की बात करें तो UGC, which is University Grants Commission, it has actually recognized yoga as it has recognized yoga on graduate and postgraduate levels. और जो योगा स्टडीज हैं उन्हें अब ग्रेजुएशन और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन में recognize किया जाता है. So with this we move on to our next question. I think we're left with 2 more questions, and then we'll begin with the English quiz. Hopefully our network is stable, and if it's not, we'll try something, but we'll do the quiz for you, so don't worry. And still the same scoreboard. Great. Okay, let's go on to our next question. Iske double points. राष्ट्रीय महत्व के घोषित किए गए स्मारकों और स्थलों यानी कि मॉन्यूमेंट्स एंड साइट्स की संख्या. So number of monuments or sites that are declared as of national importance. जो हमारी कंट्री में they've been declared as of national importance. जो भी monuments और sites हैं उसका नंबर आपके हिसाब से क्या है? Is it 3,693, 8,693, 1,693 or 5,693? 16 of you got this correct. जो correct number of monuments and sites that has been declared as of national importance is about 3,693. और ये जो Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act है 1958, उसके तहत इन्हें national importance declare किया गया है. And with this, our scoreboard once again. Oops. Okay, this is I think just the positions have dropped. So now we have Ayush, Anuj, Gaurav, Niharika, Mayur. Let's go to our last question for today and see where the scoreboard takes us, who are our top 3 who get to win Prema by Premchand. Double points for this question. Last question. दुनिया भर में मोतियाबिंद यानी कि कैटरैक्ट के कारण अंधे लोगों की संख्या. Number of people who are blind due to cataract worldwide. Is it 1 million, 15 million, 5 million or 25 million? यहाँ पर हम worldwide यानी कि global data की बात कर रहे हैं. तो आपको ध्यान में रखना है कि कितने ऐसे लोग हो सकते हैं जो worldwide cataract की वजह से अंधे हैं. They're blind because of cataract. "21 of you got this correct. 15 million जो है, that is the correct answer. And of these 15 million, some 10% may be due to exposure to ultraviolet radiations. और 15 million हमारे जो पूरे दुनिया में ऐसे लोग हैं, it is estimated about 15 million people in the world are blind because of cataract. तो इस क्वेश्चन के बाद we've come to an end of this quiz and हम पोडियम देखते हैं हमारे आज के winners कौन है. But I'll request you to stay back because we have the English quiz right after I stop sharing my screen. We'll have Rashmi again. Third position we have Gaurav. आज के quiz के second position पे है अनुज और हमारे quiz के winner हैं Dev. I think you were not Ayush Dev. Yeah, you were on the scoreboard. I just read Dev, so I was like, okay. So congratulations to all of you. और आप अपना प्राइज क्लेम कर सकते हैं with the link that has been provided to you in the chat box. अगर अभी प्रोवाइड नहीं किया गया तो within a few minutes we'll provide it in the chat box. But you can claim your link, claim your prize. और हम आपकी किताब जल्द से जल्द dispatch करने की कोशिश करेंगे. Let us see if we have Rashmi here with us back again. Yes, we have. Okay. Over to you, Rashmi. Yeah.
I hope this is going to work, Meenal, because if it doesn't, I always have you as my backup. So,
yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I gave the introductions. I'm not going to do that again. And I've really been having some very hard luck with my internet connection. So I'm super conscious of the fact that I want to get started so that things don't get lost in the way. So very quickly, I'm going to tell you 3 lucky winners are going to get the book, The Odd Book of Baby Names. I was very intrigued just by the title of the book. It's written by Anees Salim, and he has a good kitty of very interesting fiction books. He's got some very eclectic books. He's an advertising professional. He's been in a number of roles. So he's obviously collected a lot of experiences and a lot of observations into his book. And in this particular book, The Odd Book of Baby Names, he's written about this king who's now nearing his death, is practically blind, and has got 100 odd kids. And there are 8 of these kids who kind of come to the center stage and then the story takes on from there. So it's a very interesting book. And I haven't read it, by the way, but we're always looking out for books that we would love to read, and we love to give that to our quizzes. So the game pin is the same as what we had given out in the beginning for the English quiz. I'm going to very quickly share my screen. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to generate the game pin all over again. So please, if y'all can just give me a minute to do that. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and I will. Oh, okay. Sorry, I have everyone here. So my bad. I will just share my screen so that you can make sure all your names are there. And really sorry about this. I feel like an absolute tech Luddite this evening, but welcome, Dave. I hope you get lucky again. Anna, Anushka, Aditya, Sneha, Bhaskar, Nehal. I know Udit was somewhere. So Shreyan, Priya. I was thinking of you, by the way, Udit, when I was, reviewing this book. Anuj, Shweta, Bhagat, Arya, Tanushri, Gaurav, Pratham. Hi, Pratham. Parisha, Adya. Lovely to see the regulars here. Of course, the Chabras. Good evening. Niharika, Leena, Mukesh, Gaurav, Shweta, Anush, Vanshika, Anuj, Raja. Welcome, everyone. My questions for this week are absolutely, and I don't know how it turned out that way, very complimentary to Meena's questions, and I'll tell you how that is as we go along the way. But I have a few poll questions, very simple ones, and we're going to start with the poll questions. Well, we've been quizzing, or you've been quizzing for 26 weeks this year. We've, of course, celebrated our second year anniversary, and we get into the poll questions now. Where and when did you meet your best friend? Was this your sibling or cousins who ended up being your best friend, or was it in school or in your housing colony or society or building, or was it in college? Did it happen later? Did it happen very early? Tell us about it. We're very interested to know. I think there's a bit of lag because I'm not really seeing the responses. And if anything is wrong, we probably okay. So I'm going to just give me a minute because I'm going to log in again and I'm going to share a new game pin. So please just hold on just for a second, yeah? Okay, so we have a new game pin, which is 152726. If you can please just log into that and I will share my screen so you can see your names starting to populate on that screen. I'm sorry about this. I'm glad we saw the mistake right at the beginning just as we started the poll questions. So it's 152726. If you can please just quickly log into that. And sorry about this. It's just been a very weird day with the Wi-Fi connection. So hi, Mayur Bhagat, Anuj, Khushi, Tanushri, Pratham, Udit, Niharika, Padmaja, Kartikeya, Gaurav, Dipankar, hi. We've been having a bit of a testy start, but I hope the rest of it goes really well. I'm just going to give a couple minutes and yeah, I mean, it's so good to see all of you. We always worry because, you know, there's a lot at stake for us because this is not a conventional Bollywood or a fun kind of a quiz. This is a very sort of serious subject. And every time we take a break, we always worry about whether, you know, people have better things to do or would they want more exciting things to do. And it's so wonderful when we keep seeing some of you all come back to this quiz. It means a lot to us. And that's one of the reasons why we really don't take you giving us your time for granted. So sometimes when these kind of things happen, we really feel very terrible. I feel very, very terrible because it's a lot that you give us. So yes, I'm going to now get started. And we have the poll questions that come up again. We were talking about friendship and trying to sort of understand at which stage in our lives do we really make our best friends. Some of us are late bloomers, right? Some of us don't really make our friends right at the beginning in play school or in primary school. They come much later. So we're interested and intrigued to know when you made or met your best friend. It's a very magical time actually in life. Was it in school? Was it in college? Did your siblings or your cousins become your best friends? I mean, that happened in my case. Or was it in sort of your building or housing colony or society? When did that happen? Okay, so I think school seems to be sort of the place where you meet your best friends. And of course, housing colonies, well, four of us did make friends there. And then, of course, college. So it came, sometimes friendships also happen a little late in life. And I think there's also something very special about that. It comes even later for some of us. But no harm, right? But as, of course, we grow older, people say, your ability to sort of make really deep friendship does get a little lesser. So you want to make sure that you're making the best of your time early on in life when you're younger. All right. The next question, how often do you meet your friends? And we're not talking about on, you know, a WhatsApp group or whatever, for real, face to face. Is it 5 days in a week? Is it even Saturday, Sunday? Is it maybe twice or thrice in a week or maybe once or twice a month? I haven't put the option of, you know, a pen pal or your best friend not even being in the same city. And yes, it does happen where, you know, and I agree, I'm in the same bucket as 22 of you who said not that often, once or twice a month. But what's the most interesting part about best friends or friendship really is that even if you meet after a long period of time, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, you just pick off from where you left off. And I think that's the most interesting part about friendship. A word cloud now, and we want to know your best friend's name. And it could even be your dog or it could be your mom, because India Fact Quiz love their moms. So if you can share your best friend's name, that'll be fantastic. Okay, so someone's best friend is Karthik Aryan, and myself. Yes, I think, you know, we have to be good friends to ourselves, right? As well. Mom has definitely come up. Narendra Modi's best friend, fantastic. Shaktiman, I think for all the wrong reasons, the right reasons. Someone says Shanavaz, Aarti, Vijay, Shubham, Rianshi, Nirmala, Golu, Anonymous, okay. Pari Arora, okay. Jessica, Suhani, okay, nice. Nice to know that we have friends, right? I mean, that's important. Okay, so we'll get into the actual quiz now. And it's again 10 questions. I have a puzzle questions, very complementary to Meenal's quiz. And you just might feel like it's kind of a reflection in some way. So I hope that makes it a little easy for you. At the end of this quiz, you have this wonderful book by Anees Salim, which is called The Odd Book of Baby Names. Okay, so here we go. All the best, everyone. The first question coming up for double points. Currently, there are X number of Maharatnas. These are large central public sector enterprises. And is it 44 Maharatnas, 22, 11, or 33? Just to give you context, these are companies which are owned by the government and are listed on the stock exchange. 17 of you said 11, and that is correct. And normally the average annual turnover of a Maharatna to qualify as one has to be more than 25,000 crores for a 3-year period, and an average annual net worth of 15,000 crores. And of course, a net profit of more than 5,000 crores, along with a whole range of other criteria, needs to ideally have a global presence and international operations. And that really is the qualifying set for these central public sector enterprises. We have 11 very precious ones, and the government over the years has been trying to privatize these central public sector enterprises. Some of it the government will not get out of, because they are very essential to providing public goods to the citizens. Some of it, which are really not core to what the government's purposes, is what they will typically privatize. Once it comes to a certain maturity level, it's good to go, they'll start sort of privatizing that. And that's the path that most governments around the world do, and not so different here. Okay. So for this question, we now have Vanshika, Anna, Anushka, Adya, Bhagat, who answered this correctly and were the fastest. But as we saw in the earlier quiz, things turned very quickly on the game of facts. So let's see what comes up with the next question. Double points for this one too. Jeevan Kaushal is a curriculum focusing on stipend for students pursuing doctoral programs, scholarship for medical students of scheduled tribes, scholarship for postgraduates pursuing life sciences, or empowering graduates with skills for global employment. What do you think Jeevan Kaushal is a scheme for? Okay, so it is for empowering graduates with vital skills required for global employment. Clearly, there is a bit of a gap when we think about our education system, how it prepares us. It prepares us probably for the studies per se, but not really for life skills. And this is one program that the Ministry of Education has undertaken to prepare graduates with the skills for making them ready for global employment. All right. This question has sort of tossed up a new scoreboard. It's Anna, Arya, Adya, Priya, and Sneha. And we'll get into the next question. Double points for this one as well. Under right to education, government is mandated to provide free education in a neighborhood school to students between the ages of 6 to 14 years, or 10 to 15 years, 5 to 10 years, or 8 to 18 years. So it is 6 to 14 years. And these kind of data points are very important because, for example, if there is anybody who is struggling to get a school admission, or is struggling or wondering, do I qualify for free education? You must remember that under this very, very important act, which is now in, it's a very fundamental part of who we are. every child between the age of 6 to 14 is entitled to free education in a neighborhood. So it can't really be very far away, etc., even from the child's home. They have to be absorbed in the schools around the neighborhood, and they will be given free education. So these are really simple things that we should keep in mind if anybody needs this kind of data. So it's Arya, Anna, Adya, Priya, and Sneha, and we'll get into the next question. This is a true or false, and I think all the questions are double points. Out of school adolescents between the ages of 16 to 19 years can claim financial assistance of rupees 2,000 per annum for completing education. Is this statement true or false? We're talking about students between the ages of 16 and 19. So this is actually true. I think 5 of you who are like 16 to 19, is it even possible? 2,000 rupees per year, is that even making sense? But actually, under the Ministry of Education, there are a whole range of these various schemes, and we have to make note of this, especially because of the pandemic. We have seen a lot of students who have dropped out of school for one reason or the other. And the government actually now has a scheme to try and get these children to complete their education and also give them, it's a very nominal stipend, but please keep in mind if anybody needs to know of this stipend, you have the information now. All right, we'll take a look at the scoreboard and nothing much has changed. So we'll get into the next question. This is a true or false and double points for this one. Under PM CARES, the children's scheme, children who have lost a parent or both their parents to COVID-19 are entitled to 10 lakhs on attaining 23 years of age. Is this statement true or false? So 30 of you said true, and that is true. It seems like a lot. And it's going to be interesting to really see how this model works out. But the children that have lost their parents to COVID-19 and fall under a certain economic bracket can actually, under the PM CARES for Children scheme, apply and at the age of 23 can get a 10 lakh rupee stipend, a lump sum, which they will receive. Now, this is mandated. This is actually information that has been given in the parliament. So it has to be sort of effectual, and it's going to be, I think as citizens, we also need to be tracking these things and seeing whether it's happening and what the outcome really is. All right, so here we have it. Sneha, Adya, DB Cooper, Vanshika and Anushka are on the scoreboard. True or false, and double points for this one. So there are going to be lots of tumbles. While the use of plastic cups, straws, packing, etc. are currently banned, plastic flags are not banned in India. Is this statement true or false? Okay, so 18, this was kind of like a hung parliament because 18 said true and 18 said false. Well, from July 1st, 2022, all plastic which are used in lollipops, candies, ice creams, etc. are banned. Even packing material for sweet boxes, mithai boxes, etc. are banned. Plastic flags are also, by the way, banned. So I think most of those flags were probably polyester, but plastic flags in general are banned. And it's going to be really interesting to see how we're going to have a few more bans on the thickness of plastic bags that are used. Probably plastic used for bread and other very essential commodities. We will see how that is treated going forward. But in terms of just specific to plastic flags, yes, legally it is not permissible in India from July 1st, 2022. Okay, and interestingly, this act was also updated on August 12th, 2022, just 3 days before the Independence Day. So we'll take a look at the scoreboard, and it's now Adya, Vanshika, Mayur, DB Cooper, and Aniket, and we'll get into the next question. This is a true or false for double points. More women hold permanent academic positions in Indian universities compared to men. So what the statement says is there are more women professors in Indian universities, government grant universities compared to men. 14 of you said false, and you are correct. In fact, when you look at the numbers, and this is all government data, clearly it is more men who are professors, permanent positions in Indian universities. And also, when it comes to the numbers get even more stark when it comes to institutes of eminence. These are clearly your IITs and IIMs and AIMS, etc. Again, we will see a skew in more men holding permanent positions compared to women. But the perception probably that you have, and it's also thanks to media, Bollywood, etc., you would think, or maybe even what you have seen or you've heard is, you think there are more women professors, but actually the numbers are very lopsided, and still in the dominant holder of permanent positions are men. Some states like Haryana, surprisingly, doesn't do too badly, and there is sort of an equal parity in terms of the number of professors, male, female, who hold permanent positions. All right, we'll take a look at the scoreboard, and a bit of a tumble there. So it's Adya, and now we have Prem, Nishant, Anushka, and Vanshika, and we'll get into the next question. This is a puzzle question. It's double points for this one. Rank the states from high to low based on the number of centrally protected monument sites in the country. Meenal's question focused on the total number of protected monuments and sites. Here you need to stack the states based on high to low in terms of the protected monuments in those states. And your options are Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Uttar Pradesh. In this one, I would say there are some clues. I hope you take that. And you need to stack the states based on the states that have the highest to lowest number of monuments and protected sites. Okay, so no one got this right, and this was a slightly difficult one, but it's Uttar Pradesh, which has 743, followed by Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra. Okay, so no one got this question right, and I think there's a bit of a tumble here. So I'm going to very quickly move to the next question. And everything is static and the same as is. So a true or false, Indian Sign Language is now a subject in secondary school. We're talking about the CBSE curriculum. You can actually avail of Indian Sign Language as a subject, is what the statement says. We're asking if this is true or false. Okay, so this is true. And in fact, it's very recently introduced as a subject, but Indian Sign Language is again very different from other. There are as many languages as there are in the world. There are those many sign languages, and Indian Sign Language is now a subject in CBSE secondary school. It is optional. You can actually opt for it, especially in the open school system. All right, so we'll take a look at the scoreboard. It's Adya, Vanshika, Anushka, Prem, and Nishant, and we are at the last question of this week's quiz. Double points for this one. Shodh Shuddhi program initiated by the Ministry of Education focuses on providing access to plagiarism detection software, automated grammar check software, translation software, or free writing assistant software in all universities and institutions that are owned and controlled by the government. So 18 of you said plagiarism detection software, and you are correct. This was a bit of a, I found this interesting myself. I think probably there was a clue in the word, but yes, this is a plagiarism detection software that is provided to all universities and institutions. So we come to the end of this quiz, and we'll take a look at the scoreboard and see who's won Anees Salim's The Odd Book of Baby Names. Nothing to do with baby names, but lots to do with a very interesting plot. It's Prem Chabra who's going to be reading this book for us this week. Mayur's in second place, and in the first position, we have Adya. So Adya, please tell us how this book is. We'd love to hear from you whenever you receive these books and you do get a chance to read them. Share your reviews with us and tell us whether our book list is meeting your expectations. Thank you all for joining us. Again, next week, we'll be back with another set of questions.